Hi, welcome to Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm very happy to bring you today another DIY. This one is a tiered tray, and I show you how I made it, the mistakes I made, and what I learned from that, and then also some decorative snowflakes. I made them very glam, very beautiful, so I hope you enjoy watching this video with me. Alright, so we're going to get started on this tiered tray. First I had these glasses from Dollar Tree, and they just said bride to be on them. I was taking the stickers off the bottom, and then I just decided to start with some paint on these. I used this rose gold paint. I had gotten that off clearance at Walmart for 50 cents. I got a few of those. Rose gold is always very beautiful, and I'm glad I got to use it for Christmas this year. So I just paint each one of those glasses. I'm not worried about the detail on the glasses because I do end up covering all of that later on anyway, but I wanted a base color of the rose gold to go underneath everything else. So I just gave it one good coat, and that was it. I did the same to both of these glasses, just making sure that I left no empty marks where the glass could be seen through. This paint is actually really good. I haven't had to give two coverages on anything with this paint. It is a very good paint, and I was very glad to find it on clearance for 50 cents a bottle. So I finished those up and I let it dry. I think I let it dry actually overnight. If not, it was several hours. No, it was overnight. I'm wearing a different outfit. So I'm just mixing there. I've just got one of those flower plant trays from Dollar Tree, and I'm just mixing some rose gold and gold champagne glitter and Epsom salt all together. And silver as well. I didn't realize I put silver in there as well. I really wanted this sparkly and glamorous. And I love to mix the colors. I think the colors mixed together look really well with each other. And I used a rose gold in there as well. And then I just stir all of that together, mixing all of that with the Epsom salt. Wanted all of the colors to be blended and have no one stand out. Added a little bit more just for good measure, just because I really liked that rose gold in there as well. I use different sizes as well as different colors of texture, and then I just take my Mod Podge. I put it in this little container because it squeezes out really well. I have a large container of Mod Podge, so this little container I got 2 for $1 at Walmart. They are to carry your salad dressing, and I like them to put my Mod Podge in. I just give a good coat of the Mod Podge on the glass, do a really thick coat the first time, and then I just add my mixture, Epsom salt and all the different colors of glitter over the top, making sure to kind of fill in all the areas. If I miss a spot, it's not that big of a deal because we do have the rose gold underneath. But I really wanted these to shimmer and shine. You do want to be careful that you keep it off of the top rim, just because you're going to use that top rim to glue your tiered tray together, and you need it to be level. Some of the Epsom salt and mixture with the Mod Podge did get on that. I was able to peel it off later, but if you are more careful than I was, you won't have to fight with that and get that peeled off without peeling off the paint, messing up the project. I was able to do it without messing up the project, thankfully, but I really like how these turned out. Just the very glamorous, shiny, shimmery stands to go in between our tiered trays. And I do the same to both of those all the way around, filling in all the spots and all the gaps. And I went back in later on and added some more Mod Podge, filled in where any gaps, and just gave it a sealant coat of the Mod Podge after. I have these 3 plastic trays from Dollar Tree. And my thought here was they're silver, and I wanted to put in some of the rose gold color. And I had the rose gold vinyl from Dollar Tree, and the vinyl is very good. I do make a mistake here because I don't really think about it, but I put the vinyl down and then I glue my tray together, but the vinyl ends up ripping. The weight of the glasses was too much, and so I had to scrap this idea. But I wanted to leave this in here just so that you realize, you know, that this doesn't actually work. And DIYing is always a process. You make a mistake, you just start over and come up with a different plan, and that's what I did later on, because I really wanted these trays to be silver and rose gold and gold as well, so I add that on later. But I left this in so you could see my mistake, you could see where I went wrong. I added the vinyl to all 3 of the trays there in the center. I think it looks beautiful, but it just did not work for what I was wanting. And I'll show you here in just a moment the issue that happened. And thankfully when this broke, it did not break my glasses. So I did not ruin the project altogether and didn't have to start completely over. But it works out in the end. Just realize when you're DIYing, sometimes you're going to have a mishap. Something doesn't work out the way that you originally planned, and just go with it. You know, it's fun to see the final product in the end, and sometimes what you're thinking doesn't always work. So I'm just measuring so I can see about where the center is, and I use a mixture of hot glue and E6000 to hold these down. I was going to try to place it in the back so I had more of a seating area, but it didn't, like more of an area down on the bottom tray, but it did not level out well enough, so I ended up putting it in the center. So I used E6000 and hot glue, both on the bottom of the glass and on the top, so that it I can adhere the next shelf up as well. I'm sorry, I'm a little off frame there, and I'm not totally sure even what I'm doing. I think I'm just adding on the hot glue. I really added on lots and lots of glue. E6000, and then the hot glue around that rim. Alright, so it looks good right now. The next morning I came down and I was going to let this dry overnight. The next morning I came down and I found this. They had fallen over because the vinyl was just ripped. It didn't work the way I had originally planned. So I just take the vinyl off. Of all 3 of those trays, I take it completely off. I flip the trays over and I decide I'm going to put the rose gold on the bottom, because once it was up, I actually saw that I did not like the black on the bottom. I didn't even notice that until it was raised up. So I decide that I'm going to paint the bottom of all 3 of the trays rose gold, leave the tops completely silver, and just add the rose gold to the bottom, because when the tray is standing, you can see 2 of the bottoms of the trays. And I didn't have to paint the third, it was because it's sitting level on the table, but I went ahead and painted all 3 anyway. So I just give those one good coat. Even with the black, I did not have to give a second coat of this rose gold. I just painted one good coat over, being sure to keep it off the front. I did not want it on the top parts of the shelves at all, because I wanted those to stay silver and just the bottom to be rose gold. If you hear any noise, I'm sorry, my dog is laying here on the floor and she's playing a little bit. She's very playful. Her name is Mo, and she's a golden retriever, and she's beautiful and sweet. And she's very playful. She likes to be where I'm at. So she's laying here on the floor right now, and she's just trying to get my attention. What do you have? No, nothing. Okay. I know. All right, so I just continue to give those 3 a good coat of the rose gold. I'm not sure why I filmed all 3. I apologize for that. It kind of adds in a little extra, but I find painting therapeutic, so maybe you find watching painting therapeutic. I always do as well. I enjoy watching the painting, the process. And just as a side note, do not pass up the clearance aisle at Walmart. Sometimes in some of the Walmarts they actually have an actual aisle for clearance items, and you can find a lot there. I found this paint in the clearance aisle. Sometimes, however, each department has its own little clearance items, so even if you look at the clearance items there, still look for clearance items, markdown items in the craft area as well, and other sections of Walmart. I am a clearance shopper. I will always go to the clearance section first, see what I can find there before I go anywhere else in the store. I do that in clothing stores, I do that everywhere. So, alright, I am finishing these up, and I just let that dry for a while. I'm picking off little pieces there that had attached itself. And then this is a second attempt to glue. I did peel off the old glue, and then I just restack just like I did before, and you can see I'm peeling off the layer of glue from the bottom of the glass there. And then I add in some hot glue and some E6000, some for that immediate hold and then for that permanent hold. And I'm just being sure to get that in the center of each tray. And that is it. This idea worked much better than the first idea. And this one held up much better. Alright, and then my tiered tray is all, you can't see all of it in the frame there, and I apologize for that. My camera was a little closer than I realized. I wanted some gold added in there too, so I had these gold gem stickers from Dollar Tree, and I was just cutting some strips here to go around the sides. Once I knew what size I needed for the ends, I just cut 6 of those. And I started using hot glue at first, and then I realized I didn't need it, so I just stuck it on there with the adhesive that was currently on the stickers, and that actually held up really well. I was surprised that that adhesive was as strong as it was. And there's a little ridge, like a little, I don't know, detail work on the trays themselves. I just go right over that with these gold gems because all 3 of my trays did not have that. Only 2 of them did. And so I wanted them all to look the same. So I just went over that detail, the little ridge detail with the gold gems, and then all 3 of my trays were completely the same. After that, they all looked the same. Sometimes in Dollar Tree they will have different options of these, and I didn't even realize that some had detail and some did not. So when I picked them up, I did not look at all 3. And then I'm just measuring the sides, and I just go around the sides as well. And here's a finished look at the tiered tray without anything on it. The rose gold on the bottom really makes it stand out. I really like how that turned out, and the gold little trim. I love the detail. All right, so then I'm gonna make some things to go on the tiered tray. I was working on this while my paint was drying, so I found this large metal, I don't know if it's a cookie cutter. It was silver. I painted it rose gold with spray paint. I got that at Hobby Lobby when everything was 50% off. It looks like a cookie cutter. It would make a very large cookie, but I decided to use it as a decor piece, and I found that little candlestick at Dollar Tree, and I just load that up with hot glue, a lot of hot glue, and I just sit the snowflake down inside of that hot glue, and I hold it in place for a while. I add more hot glue because I realized what I had is not nearly enough. And I eventually just made like a whole pool of hot glue there and just stuck that down into it and then held it there so it could dry. I just had to keep adding the hot glue, filling in to make sure it was totally secure. And when I was finished, it wasn't moving. I mean, I could probably pull it apart if I really worked at it, but I don't want to do that because I like how it turned out. But I had spray painted that snowflake rose gold. I did that off camera. I do my spray painting outside. I honestly don't want to spray paint near my phone because I am not real good at keeping the spray paint where it's supposed to go all the time. So, all right, I'm not sure why it showed me holding that in there for so long. But I end up adding a little bit more hot glue. And that is basically all I do to that. I do go back in where that hot glue is just a puddle in the bottom there, and I add some of those gold jewels to the top of that just to camouflage all of that glue. At first I tried to add the glitter mixture, but it just sunk down into the glue and you really couldn't see it once it all dried. So now here's another decoration I made. All of these things are going on my coffee bar area in our dining room. If you have not seen the video with the centerpiece and the swag for the chandelier, take a look at that video. But here I'm making this sign to go. This all matches the swag and the centerpiece. And I'm using these rhinestone stickers. It's a ribbon that I got off of Amazon. Those will be linked in the description box below. And this Merry & Bright sign came from Dollar Tree. It was just wood. I painted it with that same rose gold paint that I painted the bottom of the trays with. And I'm just blinging it up. I have rhinestone sheets and so forth that came from Amazon. I love the bling, and I'm just adding some of the bling in strips around some of the letters in the word bright. I do every other letter because I wanted it to stand out a little bit. I didn't want to do every letter. And then for the end, the ampersand symbol, I took just that rhinestone, it's crushed rhinestone sheet that you get from Amazon, and I just cut out the shape of the ampersand, and then I just glued that down. This is pretty detailed work. These rhinestones are on an adhesive back, so I'm just measuring and cutting and measuring and, arranging it around. Here I am hot gluing the crushed rhinestone sheet to the middle there, and then I just take some gemstones, and I had a pair of tweezers there, and I used my finger protectors to protect my delicate fingers from that hot glue. And I just put a dab of hot glue on the back of each gem, and these are just little rhinestone gems. They're flat on the back. I use these for a lot of different things. I actually got a ton of these at AC Moore near me when it was going out of business, and I just stocked up. I probably have enough to last me for the rest of my life because they were such good deals when the store was clearancing everything out that I really stocked up on things like this. So I have a lot in my stash, and I will just use those whenever I decide I want something to be very blingy and glamorous. And of course at Christmas time, that's That's always, everything's going to be blingy and glamorous when I'm making it for Christmas. So I'm just adding those around where I think that I like them. Anywhere I think they look good. Alright, and then I take this brooch that I got, I believe it was on clearance at Walmart. I pick things up when I see them on clearance. And I'm just popping off that pin on the back. I just used my cutters there to grip them and then just kind of wiggled them back and forth until it all came off. And then I just used some hot glue and stuck that right to the side. I just thought that added a lot of bling, and I loved how that turned out. It's so shimmery and shiny. Alright, I took this Dollar Tree frame and I used some gold wrapping paper that I had left over from last year. And I just cut some of the wrapping paper, put it inside of the frame, closed the frame back up. I didn't think you'd want to see that on video because it's pretty simple, pretty standard. Right here I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place it and if I want it to be straight or a little bit catty-cornered. I decided I wanted it straight, but I wanted some extra bling. So I had these adhesive stickers that are like diamonds. These came from Dollar Tree, and I just take one of those and put it down along the bottom and then cut a smaller piece to go there in the corner. Again, I didn't need any extra adhesive because these stickers stuck really well to the glass without any problem. And then I just take some hot glue on the Merry and Bright sign. My sign was a little warped, so I kind of have to hold it down for a little while. I just add quite a bit of hot glue. I'm just sticking it to the glass, so I'm pretty sure that's going to hold really well. It hasn't had any problem. It's been hanging up in my dining room for a few weeks now. And then I just press that down, adding a little bit more hot glue, because again, my sign was warped from Dollar Tree, but that's okay. Alright, so I wanted to decorate some snowflakes. I take these two that I had painted rose gold, and I still have some of my glitter and snow mixture from the Epsom salt and all the glitter, so I just decided to cover these with that mixture as well. Now, it did get a little complicated just because I wasn't really paying attention, and it kind of globbed in between where the snowflake pieces were, so like in the openings. But I just took a little, I think just the handle of my paintbrush there, and I just kind of separated that and pulled it out before it fully dried, and that worked out really well. So at first things didn't really want to stick, especially all the Epsom salt, to those small little pieces, and so I just kind of globbed it on there. Very technical word there. Let's just glob it on. And then I just added it until I was happy. My Mod Podge there is getting a little empty, so it's getting a little tough to squeeze out, but I just have to refill it from my big bottle. And then I just go over the top of it to try to secure that Mod Podge down. I'm sorry, that glitter mixture down with the Mod Podge. When it was all dry, it looks really cute. You'll see it in the end reveal on my tiered tray. And then I had all these wooden cutout ornaments of snowflakes, and I spray painted them gold, bronze, silver, white, and I am just attaching some of the small ones, some of them on top of each other. I just use glue, the hot glue for this with the glue gun, and I'm just placing them whatever I feel like looks good. I'm trying not to make them all the same. I had these tinsel ones. They were all three wired together, and I took them apart, spray painted it rose gold, added another colored snowflake in between on the top of it, just to give it a little bit more bling and accent. And I ended up hanging these on the china cabinet in our dining room because it has 3 doors, and so it worked out well on there. And I'm just taking some of the smaller ones, putting them in the middle, Just putting some on top of the others. Some I leave totally plain as they are. And I do bling those up as well. I add some gems to the center. I add some rhinestone strips like I had on the Merry and Bright sign. And I also add some of the gold rhinestone gem stickers that I had put on the tiered tray. I add some of those too. Some of them as well. So I just bling up the snowflakes however it makes me happy. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different style. You don't have to do this at all. You can do more of this. You can do less of this. Whatever makes you happy. I don't show all of it. Again, it's just little detailed work. Cutting these stickers into strips and adding them where I want them on my snowflakes. You'll see all of them in the final reveal. So I hung several on the walls. I put some in the tiered tray. Hung some on the china cabinet. And in a few weeks, once I have everything decorated, I'll show you everything all together. I have not gotten out my decorations from previous years yet. Anything I'm DIYing is going up. And then I think either later this week or next week, I am going to get my decorations out and start decorating the rest of the house as well. But I have a few other projects I want to finish first before I get into all of the things that are from last year and the previous years, all of our decorations. And I probably will not actually put the Christmas trees up till right after Thanksgiving, but I'd like to have everything else decorated ahead of time. That way I can also enjoy the Christmas season. Plus I have some gifts I want to make and so forth. So here's the tiered tray styled on my coffee bar. And here it is with the brighter light. Sorry, the first picture was a little dim. And I just added some of those snowflakes. I spray painted pine cones, the decorated snowflakes, my Merry and Bright sign. And on this wall here, all of the rest of these decorated snowflakes. And I'm a little short, so it was a little tough to get the perfect angle of these snowflakes. So I'm kind of working above my head here. I tried to make each snowflake a little different. Every snowflake is unique and different. And so I tried to represent that in all the different ones that I did. And then I think I turn around here and show you the ones on the coffee bar as well. I tried to get back far enough, but my dining room is not really wide enough to get back very far. But here it is all together. And then here are the snowflakes up on the china cabinet. I just love the difference and the variety there. I love how these turned out. I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed making them. I love how glam they turned out, and I love the way that everything just sparkles and shines. If you like this type of video, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. What was your favorite? The tiered tray, the decorations for it, or the snowflakes? And also the sign. I love the snowflakes. I love how blingy that sign turned out. Merry and bright. I love Christmas, and I love to make it shine and sparkle. So if you like being frugal, if you like frugal DIYs, frugal tips, frugal fashion, anything frugal and fancy, please subscribe to my channel. Join our frugal family. Hope to see you there soon. Talk to you later. Have a blessed day. Bye.